Hey YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a substitute build for the Master of the Deathwing in Warhammer 40k for the Dark Angels, Belial or Belial, depending on how you want to pronounce it. It's a glorious Saturday morning here in the UK, 1st of August 2020. I may try and get out for a walk later, but I thought I'd quickly do this video as I had just received from gamingfigures.com a box of Deathwing Terminators. So thanks very much, Gavin, for those. And I thought I would quickly do a build for you and show you what I did in my previous collection for my substitute Master of the Deathwing. Now, I don't like the standalone character figure for Belial. There are some people that have done videos before on how he proportionally he doesn't quite look right, and the biggest thing is he looks a bit knock-kneed, so I don't like the figure for that. So what I decided to do was build my own using the parts that would be for the Deathwing Knights. Now, to save time, I've clipped off all the parts and got them here. And what I will do is I will just go through them and the part numbers that you will need. So obviously you need a base, the torso and the tabard. So the torso is just the standard torso that you get with the kit. There's 5 of those. Doesn't really need a part number calling out because they're all the same. So you then get the tabard, which is part number 66 that I've used. The reason I've used him is because on the character figure he has 3 sensor on his halo above the headspace, I suppose you could call it, but this one only has 2, and it's the only one in the kit that has 2 as far as I remember. The unfortunate thing is that you can't really use the tabard with any other legs, which apart from 5, because they are designed to marry up so that they sit in place and look right. The legs aren't the ones that I wanted to use. I wanted to use legs number 3, but it's not a major problem, to be quite honest. We have the differences between these and his legs is that on his left leg here he has a ribbon with a sword going through. So that's the main difference on that. I'm using the hooded head, which most closely matches his hooded head on the figure. I'm then using the sword which is supplied with the kit, which when done will kind of be pointing down towards the ground. Part number 26 for his right arm and his right shoulder pauldron is part number 75 that I've used. His left pauldron, Crux Terminatus, is part number 34, and I've used this one specifically because it's got some extra Dark Angels motifs on it. The left hand arm is the only one in the kit which comes with the Stormbolter attached to it, the left arm, but that is part number 21, and his right arm there is part number 26, and then I'm using the cloak for the back of his armour. Now, this is the only real modification I've made on this, and I don't know if you can see it, but what I did was, you normally have 3 points here that you would attach the cloak to, but I've just had to trim the middle bit away to make it sit better on at his waistline where I want to attach it. The only additional part I'm using is this demon head, which I just want to pop on the base as a bit of a extra relief. So without any delay, shall we get straight into the build? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just position the legs where I want them. Now I'm going to sort of like position him towards the back third of the 40mm base that you use, and if you notice, I've scored my base, and this is something I started doing after I had a slight incident whereby I had built a Mordor troll, one of the metal Mordor trolls, and it came on a very, very thin, I think it was a 60mm base, but it was very thin. It wasn't like the bases that you get now, that are kind of have the rim on them. And I'd made this troll and based it, but the problem was that a little while later down the line, the PVA glue that I used came away, slipped off in a big, it just peeled off in a big chunk, because it hadn't really bonded with the surface. So from then on, I started scoring the bases so that when I put the PVA down ready for the basing that I do, it had something to key into and make it stronger. So let's do the torso. Let's pop that on there, and now I don't generally glue heads in until I've placed the weapons onto the minifigure, just basically so that I get the relation between the head and the direction of any firearm or attack with a melee weapon, so that it looks right. So what I'm going to do is, because his bolter arm is the one that is going to be in the fight, pop that on, make sure it's reasonably level, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop his head in. Helps if I get it up the right way, and I think that's roughly about the right place I want it to be. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let some glue by capillary action, she said. Right, that's better. So that is him looking more in the direction that he's actually shooting in. Right, now the next thing I'm going to do is actually glue the sword arm into position and hopefully get it at the right angle. So making sure to try and even up the shoulders as you place it. And then what I'm going to do is, because the glue that I use gives me a little bit of time, I'm just going to test fit the sword and the hand, and I just want to pop that up a little. A little bit more glue. And that is going to be perfect. So let's pop his sword hand on. Like this. Okay, so that's basically the pose I'm going for. So the last little bits I'm going to pop on are going to be the cloak. Now, as I was saying, I want this to sit just on the back here, and what I'm going to have to do is take a little bit more away from the back of the cloak so that it sits over the rear plate of armour there. And I'm going to just trim a little bit away from this. So let me bring a file in now and just tiny little bit more away from this. And hopefully that will be bit off of there. That's it. That's where I want it to be. So let's pop some plastic weld on. And that as they say, is that. So, that's not run down. So, there we have the figure so far. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pop the shoulder pauldrons on, and then the final oops, it's not playing today. So Crux Terminatus. Just get some glue up inside there, and some glue up inside there. Right, that's better. And then the chapter markings, and this one sure just do that underneath there, and bingo. So the only thing that remains for me to do now is just pop this head on the floor in front of him. Now the peg that this head originally came on, I've trimmed it down and left about 1 millimeter there, just basically so that when I put the base on, when I base him up, it will be raised enough so that the sand won't distort any of the details around the base of the face, etc. But there you have it. That's the substitute Belial figure made from the Deathwing Terminators box set that you can get from Games Workshop. I believe it's that set is currently only a web exclusive at the moment, but that is how I made my substitute. So hopefully you'll join me in the next one. If you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe because it helps out, and I'll be doing some more of this sort of thing in the future. So hopefully I'll see you soon. Alright, take care. Bye.